It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. Welcome, friends and neighbors. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us. Close to home, greater West Bloomfield remains one of the safest places to live in the entire state of Michigan, with emphatic support for police, fire, and EMS tasked with protecting the community every single day. Now, a big change is underway at West Bloomfield Police Headquarters. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff is live in West Bloomfield with all the details. Jake.
Hey, Tyler, good morning. You're absolutely right. Some big news within West Bloomfield recently as a changing of the guard has taken place with the West Bloomfield Police Department. After over 3 decades of service, Deputy Chief Scott Mung announced his retirement back in December, and a new yet familiar face has taken his role, that person being Brian Tash. Recently, I had a chance to speak with Brian about his new position with the police department and what he hopes to provide for the people of Greater West Bloomfield.
Well, this new position means a lot to me. To know that I've been entrusted in this role and have been given this additional responsibility, it's a huge honor to think that I've been entrusted with this position, and I'm very excited and looking forward to starting it.
And you've been with the police department for over 20 years at this point. You started off as a patrol officer before elevating all the way up to this role as deputy chief. How do you think that is going to affect your leadership style?
Well, I feel, through the 20 years that I've been here and the variety of assignments I've been involved with, it gives me a whole perspective, not just one narrow perspective, but a whole perspective as to on a day-to-day basis what our officers are encountering, what the people in general, the citizens of the township are expecting of us, and getting to really get an insight into how the community thinks of us, what they're looking for, and in addition to that, what our officers are looking for, what they may need from us from each level, whether it be patrol, whether it be a special unit, whether it be our honor guard, whether it be someone in the administration here at the police department. The 20 years that I've had here has given me a little insight into each of those aspects, in addition to learning the community to help better this department.
What do you think are your biggest goals with stepping into this brand new role with the police department?
My goals for the next couple of years here, at least as I'm getting my feet wet, obviously is to improve relationships with our community, get to know the community more, be more transparent, be there for the different members of our community who need us, listen into what we could do better, and in addition to what we could do better, also focus on what we're doing right and to continue keep doing the right things as well. There are a couple of things, and also improving staffing. We are down in numbers, as most places are right now. So one of the big things would be to increase our overall number in patrol and to get those numbers up as well.
And with this new position, you're going to be working even more closely with Chief Dale Young. What are you looking forward to with that partnership and working together to make Greater West Bloomfield a safer place?
I think working with Chief Young and myself, it's going to be nice to kind of start something new. He's a relatively new chief. Now I'm a relatively new deputy chief. So both of us kind of learning together, and we both started around the same time, seeing where the department was at, seeing where it's at now, and just kind of being a part of where we want to take it in the future.
Of course, with any job, there's going to be its fair share of challenges. What challenges are you anticipating with this new position and with this new role with the police department?
Some of the challenges will be, one, just learning this job. I have a lot to learn, and I have a lot, like we spoke of earlier, different leaders that I've worked for in the past, people whose brains I'll pick to make myself better in this position. So I think the biggest thing is going to be learning this job. And once I learn it, just giving our officers the support they need to do their job, but also becoming more engaged with the community, seeing what they want from us, seeing what they're expecting from us, and going from there.
And what excites you about this new position as Deputy Chief of the West Bloomfield Police Department?
It's a new challenge, obviously, number one. Number two is being able to work with everything in the community. Getting to work with different community members that I wasn't normally having the type of interaction I can now have with them. When I was on patrol, you respond to a call, you handle that call, you leave, and you may not hear from that person again. This is a position now where I'm going to get more interaction with the public, develop new relationships. So I'm looking forward to developing those new relationships with people outside of this police department, as well as improving the relationships we have with our officers and letting them know that we're there for them with whatever they need.
It's a new position, but there is a lot to look forward to with the West Bloomfield Police Department, Tyler, and I can't wait to see what Brian is able to accomplish.
Yeah, Jake, it is a continued time of change in our public safety. This is not the first leadership change in our public safety departments of late, especially in that police department. We think back to just a year ago, right around this time in January of 2025. As you mentioned earlier on, former Deputy Chief, now retired, Scott Mong, took over that position and served just directly under Chief Dale Young. That all happened just last year. It seems like it's so long ago, but it's a quick transition. And the thing that really is highlighted here is experience. Deputy Chief Mong, 30 plus years of experience, as you mentioned earlier on. Now Deputy Chief Tash, 20 plus years. So yeah, it's a little bit of a youth movement at the leadership position. There's some new people coming in to these positions, but they have a lot of experience, and we can think they're very likely going to be here for a number of years, as a previous administration that lasted quite a long time with Chief Patton and Deputy Chief Kurt Lawson.
You're absolutely right, Tyler. Like Brian said, Dale has been in this position for just over a year at this point, and Brian is now in this position right now. So it's a new leadership, but it's an experienced leadership, and that's why I think that the police department is in great hands. West Bloomfield is very, very safe, and it's just going to radiate throughout the entire community in the years to come.
And some pretty extensive experience, too. Looking at the West Bloomfield Police Department Facebook page earlier this month, they made a post about now Deputy Chief Brian Tash on their page, detailing some of his experience. Very specialized. He's been a patrol officer, so he understands the day-to-day of our officers in Greater West Bloomfield and what they need to do. He's been on specialized assignments as well in the Detective Bureau. He's worked in partnerships between the West Bloomfield Police Department and the DEA. So plenty of a wealth of experience on local and wider-ranging law enforcement for one of the premier police departments in Southeast Michigan, a model for so many others across our state and around the country. Jake, thank you so much for your leadership on bringing us this story out in West Bloomfield live this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tyler.
Appreciate it. Jake Schaff live from the West Bloomfield Police Department as Deputy Chief Brian Tash has succeeded Scott Mong after his 30-plus years in the West Bloomfield Police Department and just about 1 year as the Deputy Chief. Congratulations to former Deputy Chief Scott Mong on his retirement, and a big thank you for his many decades of service right here in Greater West Bloomfield. It's a time of a lot of change over the last couple of years as well. Even in Keagle Harbor, longtime Detective Bobby Barnes became their new police chief officially just last March, and that's in addition to just about a year or two before that, Corey O'Donohue becoming police chief and assistant city manager in Sylvan Lake, a role he also served in for a number of years in Royal Oak before that. So a wealth of experience in each of our positions of police chief in Greater West Bloomfield. Then you look at the fire department, a recent retirement of Fire Marshal Byron Turnquist, who was succeeded by Dave Goff, a longtime deputy fire marshal. Turnquist, of course, from West Bloomfield, served his hometown for a number of years. Many of those as our fire marshal, was a regular guest here on The Splash, talking about all issues related to the fire department. So for those in our public safety departments that are retiring, we wish you a fond farewell and a big thank you for your years of service. All of us here at The Splash, and we know the community has your support, and a big welcome and congratulations to new Deputy Chief Brian Tash and all of those who have been upgraded to new leadership positions all across our public safety in Greater West Bloomfield. Leadership is on display in every corner of the Greater West Bloomfield community, and once a year, the community recognizes the leaders who tend to not share the big spotlight each and every day. The setting, the annual Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Awards, whose nomination window is open right now. Joining us with all of the finer details on that process is the Michigan Week Awards chairperson, Deb Macon. Deb, pleasure to have you on the show.
It is a treat to always be here with you, Tyler. Thanks so very much.
Yeah, and you know, I know it's an extra sweet treat for you because you get to talk about the Michigan Week Awards. Knowing you very well from our back and forth with your work with the Greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission, I know that this is the marquee event of the year on your calendar. And the great thing about it is it's about the people in our community that really do make Greater West Bloomfield so special. So for those who maybe are new to the community, they haven't heard about Michigan Week, they want to get more involved, why is this such a marquee event every year?
Oh my, I love that question. Tyler, over 54 years ago, because this will be the 54th Greater West Bloomfield Michigan Week Awards breakfast, leaders in our community thought, isn't it about time we too honored those who help promote, engage, contribute, and serve Greater West Bloomfield in primarily a voluntary capacity. And what makes it even extra special, this began as a state promotion even 70 years ago. And when Michigan Greater West Bloomfield jumped in, we stayed. We believe we are the only community that was part of the statewide promotion that stayed with celebrating its community residents, and the organizations that bring so much life and spirit. And you have an amazing photo on the screen. Last year, we honored with our highest award the retired police chief and the current fire chief, whose work has been extraordinary. And they are honored as volunteers because not only are they contributing to the health, safety, and wonderful life in Greater West Bloomfield, they go above and beyond in their voluntary capacity.
And they do, and those are leaders that we tend to see each and every day. They'd say it themselves, even after their awards last year, they said it to each of us as we congratulated them, that really the highlight of that day isn't people like them that do have a bit of a spotlight every single day, and they do a lot of volunteer work far and well beyond the duties of the jobs in which they have accepted and undertake every day. But it's those other volunteers, the student at his local school, the teacher that's taking extra time after school, not only to do all their work helping out her students, but also to help foster one of the clubs that needs leadership in order to exist. Somebody that's making those big impacts each and every day. Why is it important that we recognize those people that don't come forward for the recognition and give them their spotlight?
Our committee, who spends literally hours all year planning this, wants to honor the unsung heroes, the people who are quietly going about contributing in ways that many of us may not see. And you know, Tyler, one of the things we know is that everyone wants to be seen, wants to be valued and recognized for their contribution. And these are volunteers who say, oh no, it's not me. It's the work that's important. And these are the people who bring that service, bring that work to life. They're the ones who bring smiles to others' faces. And this is time for us to shine a spotlight on them. You know, let me add something really special for this year. You probably were going to ask about this. We are tying the theme for Michigan Week this year to the 250th birthday of our country. Every year we choose a theme and a gorgeous logo designed by Pam Zajac, which we're so excited to have unveiled every year. Our theme, United in Service. Together we shine.
And that is a great message that does encapsulate everything that Michigan Week is about. It's about recognizing not only the volunteers themselves who are making this massive impact on our community every day. One of my favorites from last year was recognized by the Township Board a couple of months before Michigan Week, Helen Campbell, who you may see regularly out at Town Hall just picking up trash off the ground. She doesn't do it because it's necessary there, really. It's a very clean environment, but she just wants to do that. And she goes out there and out even along Walnut Lake Road sometimes and will pick up that trash. She got recognized for that by the Township Board. She was very bashful about it. She just loves to do it. It's something she does for the good of her community. That's what we recognize. And we reached out to her to see if she wanted to come on the Splash. She didn't want the extra spotlight. But this sort of award does really have an impact on these volunteers who are giving their heart, their art, their treasure in order to help Greater West Bloomfield. So after they do receive that recognition and they're at that big ceremony and they have so many people in that room cheering them on and thanking them for their service, how do they feel as Michigan Week Award recipients?
Well, Tyler, we always get stories, anecdotal stories, letting us know the importance of this. And, there are 9 different award categories. So someone who wishes to shine a spotlight on someone they know who is doing great work really has an opportunity to customize that and decide for themselves which category they will nominate either someone they know or maybe an organization, because a couple of the award categories fit perfectly for the organization that individual volunteers are working on behalf of or are working alongside of. We hear that this means so much. And we know it because we get requests, or is there room for my grandmother to be there? My next door neighbor is cheering me on all the time. Is there room to include them as well? So this is really a family affair.
It is, and it's a large undertaking of volunteers too, just to even make this happen every year.
As a matter of fact, our team that makes this happen is all volunteer. We build our work knowing that there are 7 partners. There are 7 community partners, our 4 local units of government, Higo, Orchard, Sylvan, and of course, West Bloomfield Township, and 3 school districts are partners in this as well. And that would include Bloomfield Hills Schools, West Bloomfield Schools, and the and the Walled Lake School District. So we plan all year. Our whole intent is to see that those who need to be appreciated, those who need to hear and feel in a big way, you matter. Your work, your service matters. And I was thinking, if someone wanted to know, tell us about this community that we are thinking about moving to, just let them see what happens at Michigan Week's Awards Breakfast on Friday, May 8th at 7 a.m. in the morning at Temple Israel, our amazing host.
And if you can attend, that would be great. If you can't, civiccentertv.com. It'll be on our on-demand page that day, and you can watch all the past Michigan Week Awards from recent years as well. Get a little understanding of that because, Deb, as I mentioned earlier on, nominations for this awards ceremony this year is open as we speak. People can now start to nominate those special volunteers, those people making a daily impact in Greater West Bloomfield. What do they need to do? What information do they need to put someone's name in the hat for these prestigious awards?
Our website, michiganweek.org/nominate, and there is a button on the website that will do that. The directions are very explicit. What we're looking to do is highlight those who either live, work, attend school, or volunteer in Greater West Bloomfield. But there are amazing opportunities for service that Greater West Bloomfield residents are doing on a world stage or at the state level or in another part of the state. So the main focus is, does this individual live, work, or attend school in Greater West Bloomfield? And tell us, not just a bit, tell us deeply about who they are and their service. We do ask for contact information so we can follow up. And there is an awards committee that reviews absolutely everything in detail and then makes recommendations and then moves forward who will be included.
Yeah, learn more about the Michigan Week history, including the statewide event that began way back in 1954 under the tutelage of Don C. Weeks, and the local version of it that we have every single year to celebrate our volunteers in Greater West Bloomfield. That is MichiganWeek.org, and to nominate, MichiganWeek.org/nominate. Just that easy. There's also a button right on the top right side of that page. You cannot miss it on MichiganWeek.org to get those nominations in. Deb, the time does go quickly. As always, time flies in Greater West Bloomfield. It's a busy community. Nominations just recently opened at the time that you and I are talking today, but they'll close pretty quickly. What's the deadline? How long do people have?
Until the middle of February. No new nominations will be accepted after February 13th.
All right, so February 13th is the deadline to get those nominations in for the 2026 Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast. Recognize those volunteers, someone making a special impact in your neighborhood, in your school, in whatever group you may be involved in Greater West Bloomfield. If someone's doing something that's helping other people, which is helping the Greater West Bloomfield community, we want to recognize them at this year's Michigan Week Community Awards Breakfast. Deb, anything else for us before we let you go today?
Yes, there is one more thing that I have to say. None of this would be possible on the stage that it is without our partners at Civic Center TV. We are so grateful for absolutely everything. You all know how to show up. You make a splash and make this so real and so meaningful. We could not be more delighted, and we get such positive feedback from the way you share the stories, the passions of those who are recognized. Thank you so very much.
Well, I appreciate that, and on behalf of our entire team, I know all of us, from our general manager, Dave Scott, down the chain of command, all appreciate those words from you and others in the Michigan Week Committee. It's one of the toughest weeks of our year, but it's also one of the most rewarding days of our year, as we get to see those volunteers be celebrated in a beautiful morning right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Deb Macon, thank you so much. She is the awards chairperson for the Michigan Week Community Awards Committee. That event happening in May. More information on MichiganWeek.org. Nominations are open now until February 13th. To get those nominations in, MichiganWeek.org/nominate. Highlighting even more local heroes close to home, a special group of highly trained law enforcement officers play a major role in investigations, security, and even more every single day right here in our community. And they're all good boys and girls, our K-9 officers. Civic Center TV reporter Jake Schaff got an inside look at these extra special local heroes.
Every single member of the West Bloomfield Police Department plays an important role in helping to keep this township as safe as it is, including some of their four-legged friends. The K-9 unit of the West Bloomfield Police Department plays a very crucial role in doing what their human counterparts can't always do. I stopped by the West Bloomfield Police Department to take a look at these dogs in action up close and to understand just how crucial they are to this force and what they mean to the community.
So yeah, a lot of it starts with just where we get our dogs from. It's a very selective process in most departments and handlers when we have success getting our dogs from a certain either vendor or kennel. That's where we kind of tend to stay to. So we're very loyal to ones that produce good dogs. And then just the amount of training that goes into it is, you'd be actually very, very surprised how much training goes into it, both on our professional side of it that the department gives us, as well as how much off-duty time we have to put into these dogs.
We get a lot of time prior to us even going to an academy. So there's a training process prior to the academy. Then we go through an academy with them, roughly 8-week academy, and then we train every single week for 8 hours. We get an 8-hour training block per week. But then also in our downtime, anytime we're at work and we're not really doing anything, we will get the dogs out and do training with them. A lot of people don't understand how much training we do on our own time as handlers as well. So it's constant training from the time we get them to the time they retire.
So kind of the common thing that we get is like, oh, they're your pet, they're your buddy, and that's as far from the truth as there is. They're an officer. They are a partner. They are what I like to call they're the Navy SEALs or the Delta Force of canines. So these dogs are so highly trained that people need to understand that you just can't run up on them like you would somebody else's dog or like a pet. You have to make sure the handler's okay. Like, hey, can I come meet the dog kind of thing. Let the handler tell you, hey, yep, come on up and meet the dogs. Like I said, our department is real big on our dogs being able to be social. So we train our dogs not only to be top notch as far as police work aspect of it, but also to have that switch to where they can go into that playful mold so they can be pet and met and take pictures with and all that kind of stuff.
These dogs represent a little assurance to know that if something has to be dealt with quickly or we're looking for someone where timing is of the essence, these dogs play that role in helping to locate someone in a way that we wouldn't be able to do when they pick up on that scent and they start going with it and helping to locate it. And in addition to that, that provides some extra protection for the public at large who comes to these events that are held in large outdoor areas where these dogs are able to get in there and try to detect if anything has been placed in any area that could be dangerous to the public.
The dogs, I'd imagine they have a big impact on the people of Greater West Bloomfield. I mean, we just had a dog retirement very recently. Lonzo, what was that like, and what did Lonzo bring to the police department?
He brought a nose that could not be beaten. It was one that not only did he have a switch where he could go from just playing and being friendly and meeting people to a work mode that was not surpassed by any other dog. It takes a chunk of your heart with you. Even though he's in good health and he's at home and stuff like that, it's still, what people don't understand is that I know like with Robbie and myself, we basically put our lives in these dogs' hands to know that if we had to pop that door for help, they're going to be there probably quicker than what our human counterparts are going to be. So being able to have that amount of training and that amount of confidence in the dog is second to none. So then when they start to retire or even handlers who step away from being a handler, that's one thing they always say they miss is having that fur buddy in the back that they basically put their lives in their hands on a daily basis.
All in a day's work for these devoted canines who bring so much to the West Bloomfield Police Department, serving as a shining light to the community, bringing joy and safety to everybody they meet. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
To see even more of the K9 officers in action and to give a congratulations and a good boy to K9 Lonzo as he enjoys 2026 in his retirement. Join the West Bloomfield Police Department on their Facebook page at West Bloomfield PD. That's facebook.com/West Bloomfield PD. What could be better than a soothing night with that special someone enjoying delectable wine, live music, and amazing art for just that? And $25. That experience can be all yours on February 12th at Art Leaders Gallery in West Bloomfield Township. Joining me with more information on this event is Elise Cabos and Candace Gorman from Art Leaders Gallery. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thank you.
Appreciate having you both on. I mean, there's art in wine, and of course, there's art in art. Elise, from your organization's perspective, what was the motivation behind combining both of these into this special and affordable event for people to attend right here in West Bloomfield?
Yeah, so we wanted to really figure out like a fun thing to bring people out during the cold. And we were brainstorming some ideas last year. and kind of thought of like what wouldn't be more fun than wine and art. You have wine and cheese, so why not do like a fun event for wine and art? We love doing bringing colorful presentations and whatnot. So yeah, it was a fun thing. We ran with it, and it was super successful last year. So we decided to why not do it again and try something new.
The second annual Sip and Savor event, $25 per ticket, an affordable luxury night out for you and yours right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Candace, moving on to you. We want to highlight, of course, some of the art that's going to be there. That's your specialty. What are some of the pieces that will be on display for those that attend?
Yes, we're going to be featuring everything from contemporary mixed media works to museum level grade masters. We've got Detroit works that are inspired by some of our Detroit artists, as well as romantic modern paintings. We'll be featuring and pairing works with the likes of Picasso, as well as Toulouse-Lautrec, and even our very own local artist, Civic McFly, just to name a few. So, and that's not even all of them. You really have to come to see all of them. Each piece has its own personality. So it's going to be a fun artistic night, and we're going to go through each era and mood all in one very fun setting.
And Candace, seems like this is a great place to go for date night, but even for those that just want to find something interesting to go see, how have you tailored this event to a little bit of everybody in Greater West Bloomfield?
Yeah, so we really wanted to make it a layered sensory experience. So whether you're a couple coming in around Valentine's Day, it is around that time. It's going to be a great date night, but whether you're an individual just interested in art and want a unique, different setting that you probably wouldn't have thought of, or you're just a serious art lover looking for a way different setting than just walking into an art gallery at any time, this is definitely the night to do it.
Elise, going back to you, creating this experience, you want it to be intimate. You want it to be up close and personal with the art, while also allowing people to enjoy that sip of wine in the process. So as you did this, what was the motivation behind that more limited capacity experience in the gallery versus, as Candace said, sort of having that wide range to explore?
Sure. So the whole reason we like having these more intimate settings is it gives people more time to really savor the experience, savor the artwork. Usually when we see a lot of huge events, everyone's super rushed. We're trying to get through everything. With these smaller ones, it kind of gives more relaxed feel, makes people very like comfortable. And we always just kind of see that it's more of a fun experience with just super close-knit, everyone gets to know each other, just some really like fun and friendly atmosphere.
And people are going to want to go here and see the art. That's what you both specialize in at Art Leaders Gallery in West Bloomfield. But there's other people that are watching this right now, seeing this later on. They're like, okay, all right, that's all well and great. Tell me about the wine. How did you select the wine to go along with these special pieces of art?
Yeah, so the wine and that whole thing was really, we were trying to play with the creativeness of the artwork. It was really trying to pair it emotionally and physically or aesthetically with the artwork. So for one, for our Sheepy McFly, as Candace had presented, we're actually shifting away from doing wine and bringing in a Detroit classic of Fago. And then we have a couple other ones where we have like a Spanish artist, if you haven't heard of him, Pablo Picasso, and we're pairing a Spanish wine with him. And so it's just kind of like trying to find something that fits the mood of each piece.
Tickets are available now on artleaders.com. You can also find more information about this event and others. Follow them on Facebook at Art Leaders and on Instagram at Art Leaders Gallery for even more information. Elise Cabos joining us on the program today alongside Candace Gorman from Art Leaders Gallery. Their Sip and Savor event coming up on Thursday, February 12th, 6 p.m. at their gallery in West Bloomfield. Tickets are just $25. Candace, I'll begin this with you as we move toward wrapping up for today. As people experience this and they go and visit the art. It's not just something that's on canvas. It's not just going in and seeing and being there with someone else, sipping wine along the way. It is really about that individual experience that's unique to Art Leaders Gallery. How does this fit that vision?
Well, we not only do we have a curated collection, but we're really trying to curate a really unique set of experiences here within the gallery. And this is one of them. As Elise mentioned, we tried this last year. It was a wild success. Most people requested for it to come back. We are making some tweaks, some changes, so it's not the exact same experience. I also want to point out anyone who doesn't drink alcohol, we do have non-alcoholic beverages. And we also are going to have fun raffle prizes for participation as well. So it's not just going to be about coming in, sipping wine, and looking at art. It's a true immersive experience. We're going to touch on each of the pieces as well and talk about why we did pair these with the beverages that we chose. And each person is going to be able to come up and take their own time and experience it one-on-one with us and our staff. So everyone truly gets that intimate experience with the art as well as the beverage and the whole event.
And Elise, lastly, people took a lot away from the first event. They had a lot of fun. They enjoyed that evening, so much so that Art Leaders Gallery brought it back for year number 2. As they leave the second annual version of this event, what do you hope that attendees take away?
Really, we're just hoping that they had a super great time. And they learned some things. They were able to connect artwork with something that people look as luxury. We hope that they come back and bring all of their friends as well. And hopefully somebody walks away with a new piece of art too.
It'll be a great night for that, a great night for selections, and you get in the door for just $25. Art, wine, and a fun evening out with you and yours and meeting some more friendly people right here in Greater West Bloomfield. Elise, Candace, thank you both for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Get your tickets now, $25. The link to their Eventbrite for the page to purchase tickets can be found on artleaders.com. You can also follow them on Facebook at Art Leaders and on Instagram at Art Leaders Gallery for more information on future events. We'll take a quick break here on the Splash Live. On the other side, exploring our business community, how small businesses are helping small businesses, and it all starts at the leadership level on Friday here on Civic Center TV. We'll have details on that and more coming up. Live, local, social, it's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live. What people are watching in Kego Harbor. Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.
Hello, my name is Danya Bazzi. I'm the superintendent of West Bloomfield School District. I want to congratulate Civic Center TV on hitting the amazing milestone of 1 million viewers. Your involvement in our community doesn't go unnoticed. We thank you for keeping our residents and community engaged in the latest and greatest news and information. I'm Danya Bazzi, and I'm proud to be 1 in a million.
One in 4 Michigan homes has high levels of radon, a naturally occurring radioactive gas known to cause lung cancer. It doesn't matter where you live or what type of home you have. You won't even know it's there unless you test. So don't wait. Testing is cheap and easy, and if there's a problem, it's simple to fix. Visit michigan.gov/radon to learn more.
We took action. Will you?
Find local municipal meetings at our program schedule on civiccentertv.com. Find when your meetings air live or when they're replaying on our Civic Center TV live stream. Find it all at civiccentertv.com and click schedule at the top of the screen. And now, back to the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. Welcome back to the Splash Live on Civic Center TV. I'm Tyler Kieft. Thank you for joining us today and every day on demand on civiccentertv.com and, of course, all across our social media. This week, leaders in business renew their commitment to prosperity for all of the small businesses across Greater West Bloomfield when the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce installs its 2026 Board of Officers at Connect Senior Center. Joining us to tell us more about how this moment impacts our local economy and your favorite shops and services in town is Executive Director Suzanne Levine from the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Suzanne, thank you for being with us today.
Well, thank you for having me on this typical January Michigan weather.
And look, it's cold, it's gray outside. We haven't seen the sun in a while, but the sun will always be shining indoors at Connect Senior Center as we welcome the Chamber of Commerce and its new members and its new leaders this week, which we'll have more coverage for right here on Civic Center TV. Now look, this is a formal ceremony, but it's really informal in nature. It's not necessarily official, but you get Judge DeAugustini there, you have a swearing in, everybody joins and gathers. It's a big event for the Chamber of Commerce. While it's not something that's necessarily official by the book, by law, it's an important moment every year. Why is installing your Board of Officers such a critical point in each calendar year for your chamber?
I think it's really important because the community, the business community especially, should know who is serving on our board, trying to help them and their businesses, connect them to the resources they need. So it's a great opportunity to meet with them, to discuss some of their issues. We have some local dignitaries as well. And we love the fact that it's a life sentence for Judge DeAugustini to install our officers. It makes it a lot more official, and it's just a fun but important event for our community.
Not often you get to make the directive for the judge. A great opportunity for our executive director of our local chamber. But it's a labor of love for Judge DeAugustini. She said it to me off camera multiple times and even on this show before. And I know she's had that conversation with you. This is one of her favorite days of the year as well because it really does explain partnership and how that plays such a colossal role in the success of our small business community. How does this gathering and how does this building of a business community help to spark what often is a successful year ahead for the chamber members?
Well, part of the thing is that we have a couple new initiatives that we're going to be discussing, some strategic initiatives to help our community. We know that AI training is really important. We know that economic development and workforce development are some really important issues for our business community. So we have two really great co-presidents. We decided to split the position because it is a really big job to make sure that we usher in all of the changes that we want. We have Sean St. Andre and Jennifer Taylor Boykins, two very dynamic individuals that will help me implement some of the things that we want to do for our community, because we know that every year there are new challenges. And so our commitment is to our community to make sure that they not just survive, but they thrive. So we're trying to expand our partnerships with MEDC, our township. Jonathan Morshe is going to be on our board, our township supervisor, because we want to show the community how embedded and close we are, working collaboratively with our township to make sure that we are a welcoming community.
And what's great about this change of leadership, it happens every single year. You have such a wealth of experience in so many different areas of business in your Chamber of Commerce. How does having a different person in that position with different levels of experience, years of experience, maybe even in different sectors of business in our community, help to direct the Chamber for the year ahead, but also maybe spearhead some of those new initiatives that will help every member and every small business here in Greater West Bloomfield?
Well, I think what's so fabulous about our two new co-presidents is Sean has a very deep understanding of finance and economic development, and Jennifer has a very deep background in education, and she understands what these businesses need to survive. She has a very successful business, and she also runs a nonprofit, Bravehearts. So she brings to the table very diverse skill set. And that's what we kind of need today. I think that everyone in business needs to reinvent how they think about their business. You cannot rely on the old ways to bring customers in. So we really have to be strategic about how we want to spend our dollars, how we can increase our revenue, and what we can do to make sure that our workforce understands that customer relations is probably the most important thing you can do to bring people in and keep them coming back.
And Suzanne, we know all the reasons why businesses should join the chamber. You've mentioned it earlier on. We've mentioned it numerous times on this program, and it's something that you advocate for each and every day as the executive director of the chamber. But for those small business owners of all different experiences, of all different walks of life, as they're members of the chamber, why do you believe it's important for them every now and then to step up into these leadership positions within the chamber?
I think it's really important because everyone has the potential to be a leader. Whether it's in your business, in your home, in education, I think it's really important that we all understand our role and do everything we can to mentor, to advise, and also to learn as much as we can to try to help one another, because we really are connected. And so that's why I think it's really really important for people to understand that one of the great benefits of joining a chamber is a network of diverse businesses. And as you may recall, I refer to myself as a business matchmaker. So I love kind of getting to know their businesses, who would be potential clients, and connecting them with warm introductions, because we all know that a cold call is very difficult, even for the most astute salesperson. So it's really nice to go to these meetings and make sure that you have the introduction and the connection. And I always try to think outside of the box, trying to connect people. And one of the stories, and I keep repeating myself, so I apologize, I guess that's the mother in me, is that we had a young pizza guy that opened up a pizza place, and he said, how can I get more business? So I connected him to all these real estate agents, and I said, when you sell a house and you know that people are moving in, why don't you let him know, and he can deliver a small or medium pizza, welcome to the neighborhood, and put a coupon on it. And he had so much business from that, because people are busy unpacking and getting settled. How nice was it to have some food delivered to their house? So I'm always trying to figure out interesting ways to connect businesses so they promote one another to do business.
It's a great way for these businesses to collaborate, to find new ways, to find new partnerships in the community. Something like that, a pizza place and a realtor, maybe an uncommon partnership, but when you have those sorts of innovations, they're able to make those connections and build a greater community within our businesses that make themselves and the wider business community so much more successful. Suzanne, before we let you go, anything else people should know about the board installation or other important things coming down the pike for the Chamber of Commerce?
Well, thank you again to Civic Center TV for covering it. I think it's an important event because even if people can't attend, although it is open to the public, they can register at westbloomfieldchamber.com. They can watch it and see who the board is. Maybe they want to reach out to, Alan Mandel, who's a real estate agent, or Kay Fawcett, who's Block Advisors, who's our treasurer. These are important connections because these people are very invested in the success of our community. But very quickly, we have a lot of really great events coming up. We have our Taste of West Bloomfield, which is going to be a really nice event on March 27th. We're going to have our leadership luncheon again with Casey Crane and Rup Raj, which is a fabulous event. The two of them are very dynamic, and they can talk about what's going on in the business community, in our region, and actually internationally. We have our health fair coming up June 16th at the township. So again, we're going to revisit our awards breakfast. So we have so many great events, so many great networking events, our Cup of Connections, and tomorrow we have our Hungry Howie's ribbon cutting. So come and sample some of their great pizza and welcome them to the community, because the more businesses that we have in our community shows a thriving economic township.
They get that support from you at home each and every day, and then from those other businesses within the Chamber of Commerce to keep them in Greater West Bloomfield and let them grow right here close to home. Suzanne, thank you as always for your time.
Thank you for heating things up on a very cold Tuesday morning.
Hey, look, that's what we do. We don't want you jumping in the ice cold water. We want you taking a splash in that comfortable water. It's always summer on Civic Center TV with the Splash Live. Suzanne, appreciate it. WestBloomfieldChamber.com is their website for more information on joining as a member and for events like the Board of Officers installation happening on Friday. For more coverage of that, stay tuned right here on CivicCenterTV.com. The Detroit Red Wings have reinvigorated the Metro Detroit hockey community with their 2026 season success. Close to home, our West Bloomfield Lakers are doing the same as they battle the best of the best in Michigan on the ice, week in and week out. Civic Center TV's Jake Schaff has the story.
With winter storms and snow continuing to wreak havoc all throughout Michigan, several popular outdoor sports have had to be put on pause due to the season. But that just means there's all the more excitement for hockey. And the West Bloomfield High School hockey team has been hard at work all season, shredding it out on the ice and building incredible teamwork all along the way. I had the chance to stop by one of their practice sessions recently to hear what the sport of hockey means to them, especially throughout a harsh winter like this one.
Oh, yeah. I mean, having something to do in the winter is huge. I mean, a lot of my buddies, they don't have much to do in the winter, especially when it gets nice and cold outside. You're stuck inside. I can come to the rink every day, practice, hang out with the boys, a lot of fun.
Honestly, it's great because, the snow, everything else gets canceled for the most part. Hockey, you just come in, play hockey, and it's the one sport you can play with the cold weather, so it's kind of great that because of that, you can just keep playing, keep practicing, keep working on your craft every day with the guys that we've been going to school with for the most part for a while.
What is it about hockey that stands out more so than any other sport?
In my opinion, honestly, the physicality. You have sports like football and lacrosse, pretty physical, but honestly, hockey's different. You're flying like 20 miles an hour, tops down the ice, just hitting people, getting the puck, shooting the puck upwards of like 60-plus miles an hour for some guys. So I think for the most part, it just stands on. Plus the team bonding, everything you have to do as a team. You can't just have one guy doing it all. So it's a big team sport, physical, fast. So I think from other sports, it's pretty different,
What do you see from these players on a day-to-day basis?
Constant effort, teamwork, just coming together and pushing to get better every day as a team, as individuals, managing schedules between school. Some of them have jobs, home life, friends, and just coming here and going to work and shutting everything else off. No phones, going to work. We're having an average season. We're right at 500. We'd like to be a little bit over that or, far above it. But, we're persevering and we're pushing. And, a loss definitely pushes us to go get the next W. So it's, the guys are working hard and every loss hurts and we're striving for the next W.
What have you taken away from being a part of a team like this and having this camaraderie with these other incredible athletes?
Honestly, I think the team part, everybody's got to be bought in. You can't have guys that are just kind of like half in, half out, and then have guys that are fully in. Everybody's got to be bought in. When you have everybody bought in, you start to win games, things start to go your way, the pucks start going in, and everybody's just having fun, And the team, when everybody's bought in, there's no bad things. We have people picking each other up on the benches. Nobody's left behind. It's next man up every opportunity you get.
Oh, yeah. So, like, for any young guys that are getting into the sport, I mean, just the physicality, the level of competition, being able to compete every day at practice, games, anything like that, just competing is the big part of it. Just, you got to love competition.
What advice would you offer to people who are looking to try out hockey themselves?
Somebody that's looking to try out for my team, keep working and definitely, listen to your coaches. That's one of the bigger things that coaches are always looking for is coachability, right? Like, you don't need the best players on the ice. You need the guys that are going to do what you're asking them to do and go to work, right? Anybody new looking to get in, I mean, there's plenty of open skates. You're never too old to get back into the game. I have plenty of friends that started playing in their late 20s and still playing in the beer leagues, so they're having fun.
The conditions may be cold, but there is a burning fire inside each and every one of these players as hockey fever continues to sweep the nation. Best of luck to the West Bloomfield hockey team on their continued success, and here's hoping they can score many more goals down the line. For Civic Center TV, I'm Jake Schaff.
Detroit's hockey town, Greater West Bloomfield, doing its best to fit that mold here close to home. Appreciate the story, Jake. It's no secret, Greater West Bloomfield is a bedroom community, a place where you build a family, plant deep roots, and live a vibrant and full life each and every day. As we age, some common issues may arise that affect that quality of life. However, some may be more severe, especially without early intervention. Joining me for expert analysis is social worker Gloria Whitaker from the University of Michigan, as well as Tracy Prokovnik from Jewish Family Service in West Bloomfield. Thank you both for being with us today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Glad to have you both on. This is an issue that certainly will be something that affects many families here in Greater West Bloomfield, especially those that are aging in place and their children who are supporting them through that aging in place. I want to begin with you, Gloria. Many people assume that memory loss is more or less inevitable as people age, but there is some normality to that and abnormality to that. What sticks out that people should look at as normal as they age versus abnormal and seeking intervention?
You got it. So much like our bodies change as we age, so do our brains. So we're going to look for some slowed thinking and some changes in our memory. It's harder for us to multitask. It may be harder for us to find our words. All of those are fairly normal changes as we age. What would not be considered normal is if we're starting to experience changes that are happening either very frequently, so multiple times a day, either severe changes, so drastic changes, as well as things that are happening that are outside of your norm, that are severe or drastic.
And at that point, you do need that early intervention. It can be very important. And oftentimes, Tracy, this early intervention is skipped, not because there's a lack of a need for it or lack of resources available, but simply because people in their elder age may avoid going to the doctor. In your experience interacting with these people, with these families, especially later on in this process, what are some of the common reasons that you have found why some of these individuals or families don't seek that intervention when some of these problems creep on earlier on in life?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with accepting this new reality. There's a lot of denial involved. We're now seeing a role reversal where the adult child or children are now taking the role of what the parent was doing and trying to still give their parent as much control as possible in their decisions and what they're going to do moving forward. And that involves decisions like seeing a doctor, coming with you to the doctor, implementing things that the doctor and other professionals are suggesting without, we want to avoid telling our folks, our older adults, what to do. We want them to be part of this process.
It's important that they have that agency still. It keeps their minds thinking about this. They have to actively think and actively make decisions, communicate that with other people to discuss some strategies for going forward. That activity can be really impactful for them, but the early intervention is really important, like with so many other conditions that affect the body and certainly the brain. Gloria, back to you. How can early detection of these cognitive changes impact quality of life as the cognitive decline may continue to progress as people age?
Yeah, so we know right now that there is no cure for dementia. We have ways to slow down the symptoms as they occur and hopefully increase your ability to stay active with your family and have agency. But right now, there's no treatment to cure it. So early detection is vital because you can implement things like lifestyle interventions. There's medicated treatments, non-medicated treatment, like one of my colleagues at the research program on cognition and neuromodulation-based interventions are doing. So there's a lot of different things that you can try to implement before those symptoms become so severe that there's no way to slow it down.
Jewish Family Service in West Bloomfield is hosting an event about the aging brain with a lot of this information being highlighted and open discussion for people in the community to learn even more information. Friday, February 6th at the Mir Independent Living Center that is on JSL's West Bloomfield campus. Friday, February 6th is the date for that. For more information on this and other Jewish senior life events, visit their website, jslmi.org, or follow them on Facebook at JSLMI. Tracy Prokopnik is also with us from Jewish Family Service, and we talked to Gloria about early intervention, about making those first steps, and how early treatment can have such an important impact on outcomes with dementia and other cognitive decline related issues. What role do caregivers and families play, especially early on, in moving the needle toward that early intervention, or even later on toward intervention to improve quality of life of their loved one or the person they're caring for?
Well, I think first, one of the things is the stigma that we need to take away from a diagnosis of a cognitive altering change or dementia. And so there's hope now. There's more hope than ever. There's always been hope, but there's more hope than ever. And when you, as a caregiver or family member, can say to your loved one, well, if you had diabetes, we're going to take the insulin, or we're going to do the things that the doctor suggests. So let's hear what the professionals have to say about how this is treated. And with this early intervention, we can have longer times with a better quality of life. And so that's really what we're looking for. Like Gloria said, there's no cure, but there are new things coming out regularly that are addressing these cognitive changes, slowing down the progression, and helping with other symptoms related to this as it changes people's quality of life. So as a caregiver, you want to be the cheerleader. You want to be the person that helps them make these decisions and really, really praise them for, rising to this occasion and saying, I'm going to take control of my health, whether it's my physical health, my emotional health, my cognitive health, and I'm going to be your partner as your caregiver.
And there's so much more to unpack with this, both for you, Tracy, and Gloria. We'll have a lot more opportunity to do that at this event, Friday, February 6th at Jewish Family Service here in West Bloomfield. But before we go, I want to just ask both of you individually. Gloria, we'll start with you. If someone notices these changes, what is the most important first step they can take for themselves or for their loved one?
So what I would recommend first is to take note of these changes, start documenting them, have the people around you, your loved ones, take note of them too. And then when you have that all documented, go to your primary care physician and just talk to them about these changes and see what they recommend. Most of the time, they may have some cognitive testing that they'll have you do, and then from there, maybe refer you to a specialist. But it's always important to just take note of these changes as they occur, or ask the loved one to take note of them, and then talk to your doctor about them.
And then Tracy, your organization has a lot of opportunity for education and even resources that can point people in the direction of care right here in their community in Greater West Bloomfield. What are some of the ways that Jewish Family Service provides support to individuals and families affected by cognitive issues?
Well, absolutely. Well, Jewish Family Service is actually a partner agency of Jewish Senior Life, where I represent, and we're the housing component. So we offer assisted living, independent living, and memory care communities in West Bloomfield and Oak Park. And so we have social workers in all of our communities as well. And that's a really big component that's necessary as we age and things change in our lives. And so we can provide residents and their families with resources, support groups, therapists, referrals to different specialists that we know people have been using that have had success, and really just continue with programs like we're having on February 6th, because our residents are invited to these as well. This is just important to them as it is to those not living with us yet.
Friday, February 6th at the Mere Independent Living Center, which is on the campus of Jewish Senior Life in West Bloomfield. Friday, February 6th. More information on their website, jslmi.org. Tracy, Gloria, thank you both for your time today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Jewish Senior Life hosting this and many other events. You can find more information on that. Once again, jslmi.org, or follow them on Facebook for more information on events and helpful tips that can help you and yours right here in Greater West Bloomfield each and every single day. That's our show. I want to remind you that television that's close to home is always online on civiccentertv.com and across our social media. Big thank you to our entire crew making the magic happen behind the scenes, and here's to you as well for being part of today's adventure along with us. For our entire team, I'm Tyler Kieft. Live, local, social, this is The Splash Live on Civic Center TV.